24th of April 2024. Red Sea. 0400 hours. HMS Diamond, Type 45 destroyer, sits in darkness. Crew at action stations. Sea Viper missile system armed. Ready. Operations Room Officer Lieutenant James Crawford, 32 years old, 8 years Royal Navy, Weapons Systems Specialist, watches his display. Green tracks, friendly vessels. Blue tracks, Allied aircraft. Everything normal. Then, a new contact. Red, fast, very fast. Samson radar has detected something. High altitude, descending, ballistic trajectory. Crawford's heart rate increases. He knows what this is, what it must be. A ballistic missile, launched from Yemen. Houthi rebels, targeting shipping. The computer calculates. Impact point 40 nautical miles ahead. American container ship, civilian vessel, crew of 20. 3 minutes to impact, perhaps less. Commander Sarah Bennett, Diamond's captain, doesn't hesitate. Weapons free, engage with Sea Viper. The operations room moves. Practiced, precise, professional. Sea Viper system locks the target. Samson tracks continuously. Calculating, predicting. The missile is re-entering atmosphere. Mach 10, 10 times the speed of sound. Most systems can't track this, can't intercept this. Ballistic missiles are supposed to be unstoppable. They punch through space, come down like meteors. Too fast, too high, too difficult. But Sea Viper can. Because Sea Viper was built, quietly, methodically, brilliantly, to do the impossible. Launch Aster 30, Commander Bennett orders. A silver vertical launcher opens. An Aster 30 missile erupts. Orange flame, white smoke, climbing vertically, then tilting, accelerating. Mach 3, Mach 4. The Aster's computer brain calculates intercept point, adjusts trajectory, activates its unique PIF-PAF control system, aerodynamic surfaces plus thrust vectoring, can turn on a coin, can chase anything. 90 seconds. The Aster climbs. The Houthi missile descends, closing at combined speed of Mach 13, 60 seconds. Aster's active radar seeker activates, sees the target, locks. 30 seconds. Final adjustments, tiny corrections, millimeter precision. 10 seconds. Contact imminent. Then, detonation. High altitude, the Aster's focused fragmentation warhead destroys the Houthi missile completely. Debris falls harmlessly into the sea. American container ship sails on, unaware. Mission accomplished. 0 casualties, 0 damage. But here's what makes this historic. This was the first ballistic missile intercept by the Royal Navy since 1991. Gulf War. HMS Gloucester shooting down an Iraqi silkworm. 33 years. And now, with Sea Viper, Britain does it again. But this time, it's not luck, not desperation, it's design. British design, British engineering, British excellence. And enemy missiles, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, supersonic missiles, everything, have just become useless against Britain. Most people hear Sea Viper and think missile system, point, defence. Protects ships. True, but incomplete, because Sea Viper isn't just a weapon, it's a philosophy, an approach to air defence that's fundamentally different from everyone else's. To understand why, we need to go back to 1982, Falklands War. HMS Sheffield, Type 42 destroyer, Britain's most modern warship, state-of-the-art, supposedly invincible. 4th of May 1982, an Argentine Super Etendard aircraft launches an Exocet anti-ship missile, sea-skimming, low altitude, fast. Sheffield's radar detects it, but too late. The Exocet hits, penetrates the hull, explodes. 20 men die. Sheffield burns, eventually sinks. Britain wins the Falklands War, But the lesson is brutal. Modern missiles are deadly, and Britain's defences aren't good enough. Ministry of Defence convenes reviews, asks uncomfortable questions. How do we stop this? How do we protect our ships, our people? The answer? Don't just build a better missile, build a better system, an integrated system. Radar, command and control, missiles, all working together, seamlessly. Enter PAMS, Principal Anti-Air Missile System. Joint Programme, Britain, France, Italy, developing the next generation of naval air defence. Britain names its version Sea Viper, because that's what it is, a Viper. Fast, deadly, precise. Development takes decades, late 1990s through 2000s. Countless tests, endless refinement. British engineers, BAE Systems, MBDA UK, Thalers, working obsessively to get it right. And in 2009, Sea Viper enters service on HMS Daring, first Type 45 destroyer. From day one, people notice, because Sea Viper is different, fundamentally different from American Aegis, different from Russian S-300, different from everything. What makes Sea Viper special? Integration. Most naval air defence systems are modular. Radar here, missiles there, command system somewhere else. They work together, but not perfectly. Sea Viper is holistic. Every component designed to work with every other component, from first principles, as one system. Samson radar detects. S1850M radar provides early warning. Command system prioritizes threats. Silver launchers fire missiles. Aster missiles intercept. All in seconds, all automatically. The crew doesn't micromanage, they supervise. The system executes. The missiles. Sea Viper uses two missiles, Aster 15 and Aster 30. Aster 15, short range, 18 miles. For close-in threats, drones, helicopters, aircraft at low altitude. Aster 30, long range, over 70 miles. For everything else. High-altitude aircraft, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles. Both use the same revolutionary technology, PIF-PAF, pilotage en force, pilotage aérodynamique fort. What's PIF-PAF? A control system that combines two methods of steering. Aerodynamic control, traditional fins, like a normal missile. Thrust vectoring, small jets that push the missile sideways, mid-flight, instantly. Why does this matter? Because it makes Aster unbelievably manoeuvrable. A normal missile makes gentle turns. Aster makes sharp turns. 90-degree turns. Can chase a target that's evading. Can intercept missiles doing Mach 3 terminal maneuvers. American SM-2 missiles? Good. Russian S-300? Capable. But neither has PIF-PAF. Neither can turn like Aster. In trials, Aster consistently outperforms competitors. Trials at Benbecula, Scotland. French tests in the Mediterranean. Every test, Aster succeeds. 2012. French frigate Forbin shoots down an American GQM-163 Coyote. Mach 2.5. 5 meters altitude. Sea skimming. Supersonic. Aster intercepts. Perfectly. Destroys it completely. Americans are impressed, because their own missiles struggle with this target. But Aster? Easy. The launchers. Silver A50 vertical launch system. 48 cells. Can hold any mix of Aster 15 and Aster 30. Vertical launch means the missiles can engage targets in any direction. Front, back, sides, doesn't matter. The missile launches up, then turns toward the target. Rate of fire? 8 missiles in 10 seconds. Can guide 16 missiles simultaneously. This is critical because modern warfare isn't one threat at a time. It's saturation attacks, dozens of missiles, dozens of drones, all at once, trying to overwhelm defences. But Sea Viper can't be overwhelmed. Track hundreds, engage dozens, destroy everything. Hit to kill. Most missiles use proximity fuses, explode near the target, hope fragments hit. Aster uses hit to kill plus focused fragmentation, combines both, flies directly into the target, then explodes. Lethal radius, 2 meters. Miss by 1 meter? Still dead. Miss by 2 meters? Still probably dead. This is why Aster has such high kill probability, over 90%. Some estimates, 95%. But theory is theory. Combat is different. Does Sea Viper actually work when lives depend on it? When missiles are real? Answer: yes. Absolutely. Demonstrably, yes. Red Sea, December 2023, January 2024. Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen launch campaign against shipping. Targeting vessels in Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Critical waterway. 30% of global container traffic passes through. Houthis use drones, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, trying to close the strait, trying to intimidate the West. NATO responds. Operation Prosperity Guardian. Multiple nations. American destroyers, French frigates, British Type 45s. HMS Diamond deploys. December 2023. Red Sea Patrol. 15th of December 2023. First engagement. Houthi drone approaches commercial shipping. Diamond's Samson tracks. Sea Viper locks. Commander Bennett, engage. Aster 15 launches, intercepts. Drone destroyed. This is historic. First time Royal Navy has fired at aerial target in anger since 1991, Gulf War. 32 years. But it's not the last. 9th of January 2024. Massive attack. Houthis launch coordinated strike. 18 drones. Multiple missiles. Targeting shipping. Targeting Diamond. Diamond's crew goes to action stations. Operations room tense. This is the real test. Not one target. 18. Sea Viper system activates. Samson tracks all 18. Prioritizes. Assigns missiles. Silver launchers open. Aster's launch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Aster missiles in the air, chasing 7 threats. Diamond's 30mm guns engage others. Close in. Final layer. Result? 14 threats destroyed. 4 escape. But 0 hits on Diamond. 0 hits on shipping. Sea Viper performed exactly as designed. Saturation attack? Defeated. Multiple simultaneous threats? Managed. Complex environment? Handled. American admiral in charge of the task force sends message. HMS Diamond's actions tonight demonstrate the extraordinary capability of the Royal Navy. Sea Viper system exceptional. Exceptional. High praise from America. Very high. But the most important test comes later. 24th of April, 2024. The engagement we opened with. Ballistic missile. Because ballistic missiles are different. They don't fly horizontally. They arc. Up into space. Then down. Mach 10. Mach 15. Nearly impossible to track. Nearly impossible to intercept. Most systems can't do this. American Aegis can. With SM-3 missiles. Specialized, expensive, complex. But Sea Viper can. With standard Aster 30, not even the upgraded version. Standard. Diamond tracks. Launches. Intercepts. Perfect. And the world realizes Britain has a capability that only America has. And soon, with upgrades, Britain's capability will be better. Now, here's what most people miss. The part that makes NATO nervous. Sea Viper Evolution Programme, £405 million, announced January 2024. 3 contracts with MBDA UK. Phase 1. Upgrade existing Aster 30 missiles to Block 1 standard. New warhead, new guidance software, new seeker. Optimised for anti-ship ballistic missiles, ASBMs. Range against ballistic missiles increases from 600 km to 1,000 km, nearly double. Also upgrades Samson radar, combat management system, command and control. Everything gets better. Phase 2. Evaluation. Aster 30 Block 1 NT. New technology. Currently under development with France and Italy. New seeker technology, even better against ballistic missiles, especially manoeuvring re-entry vehicles, MARVs, the hardest targets to intercept. Range, 1,500 km. Can intercept medium-range ballistic missiles, MRBMs, the same missiles that threaten entire regions. When complete, Type 45 destroyers will have first European organic ballistic missile defence capability. Sensor to shooter. Complete independence. No American systems required. No French systems. No anyone. Britain can defend itself. Alone. This changes everything. Because for 70 years, ballistic missile defence was American. Only America had the technology. Only America could protect Europe. Now, Britain can too, independently, and NATO, especially America, notices. Engineer Michael Harrison, 51 years old, 25 years at MBDA UK, lead designer on Aster programme, sits in his office in Stevenage, looking at computer displays, simulations, tests. Michael worked on Aster from the beginning, late 1990s, when it was just concepts, drawings, ideas. He remembers the pressure, the expectations. Build a missile better than anything, better than American SM-2, better than Russian S-300, better than everything. Impossible, some said. Unrealistic, others claimed. But Michael and his team persisted, because they believed in British engineering, in British innovation, in the idea that, given time, resources, commitment, Britain builds the best. Years of work, countless tests, failures, improvements, more tests, then, finally, success. Aster works. Aster exceeds expectations. And now? Aster protects Britain, protects allies, saves lives. Michael thinks about HMS Diamond, about the container ship crew who never knew they were targeted, who sailed on safely because Aster worked. That's the reward. Not profit, not recognition. Knowing that your work matters. That people are alive because of what you built. My grandfather was an engineer, Michael says quietly. Worked on radar during the war. Chain home. Helped win the Battle of Britain. He told me once, engineering isn't about making things, it's about making things that matter, that change history, that save people. That's what we do, at MBDA, at BAE Systems, at Tails. We build systems that matter, that defend our nation, that keep people safe. Not for glory, not for awards, because it's the right thing to do, because Britain deserves the best, and we give them the best. This is the soul of Sea Viper, not just technology, people. British people carrying forward a tradition, building systems that defend, protect, save. But there's another aspect, something uncomfortable, that NATO discusses quietly. Dependence. For decades, European defence depended on America, American technology, American systems, American protection. If Russia attacked, America would defend. American missiles. American ships, American everything. Europe accepted this because America was reliable, committed, strong. But 2016-2024 changed things. Trump administration questioned NATO, demanded Europe pay more, threatened to withdraw. Europe realized dependence is dangerous. What if America changes policy? What if America leaves? Then Europe is vulnerable, defenseless. So Europe started thinking sovereignty, European technology, European systems, European independence. And Sea Viper? Sea Viper is the proof that Europe, led by Britain, can build systems as good as America's, perhaps better. This makes America uncomfortable, not angry, not hostile, just uncomfortable. Because if Europe doesn't need America for defense, what's America's role? Why stay in NATO? These are complicated questions, no easy answers. But Britain's answer is clear. Build excellent systems, maintain capability, defend sovereignty, work with America, but don't depend on America. Sea Viper embodies this. British technology, European partnership, global capability, and NATO. Watching Britain demonstrate this, watching Sea Viper succeed in combat, feels something complex. Pride, because Britain is strong. Respect, because Sea Viper works. And perhaps envy, because not everyone can do this. Final scenario, hypothetical. Year 2027, North Atlantic. NATO task force operating near GI-UK Gap, Greenland, Iceland, UK. Strategic waterway, where Russian submarines pass to reach Atlantic Ocean. Russian Navy tests, launches mock attack, simulated saturation strike, dozens of missiles, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, anti-ship missiles, all at once. Testing NATO defences, looking for weaknesses, preparing for potential war. HMS Duncan, Type 45 with upgraded Sea Viper, is flagship of the task force, coordinating defence. Russian missiles approach, dozens, from multiple directions. High altitude, low altitude, sea skimming, ballistic. American Arleigh Burke destroyers engage their sector. Aegis system launches SM-2 missiles. Some hits, some misses. System overwhelmed slightly. Norwegian frigates engage their sector. ESSM missiles. Doing well, but running low on ammunition. HMS Duncan? Calm. Sea Viper tracks everything. Samson sees all threats. S-1850M provides early warning. Command system prioritizes. 48 Aster missiles ready. Block 1NT, latest version, capable of anything. Duncan launches 8 missiles in 10 seconds, then 8 more, then 8 more. Asters climb, maneuver, intercept. Piff-paff control making impossible turns. Chasing targets doing Mach 3 evasive maneuvers. Boom, boom, boom. Targets destroyed. Duncan's Sea Viper destroys 24 threats. Protects entire task force. 0 missiles get through. Russian observers watch via satellite, record data, report back to Moscow. Report says, British Type 45 destroyed all targets in assigned sector. Sea Viper system extremely capable. Cannot be overwhelmed by saturation attack. Recommend avoiding. Engagement if possible. Recommend avoiding engagement. The ultimate compliment. From an adversary. Because that's what deterrence is. Not making war likely, making war unlikely. Because the enemy knows they'll lose. Sea Viper does this. Makes enemy missiles useless. Makes attacks futile. Makes war unthinkable. And NATO, watching Duncan perform, watching Sea Viper succeed, sends message. HMS Duncan performance exceptional. Sea Viper capability unmatched. Royal Navy remains NATO's most capable air defence asset. Congratulations. Unmatched. From NATO. That's not exaggeration, that's reality. Final answer. Why does Sea Viper make enemy missiles useless? Because Sea Viper represents 40 years of British determination. From HMS Sheffield burning in 1982, to HMS Diamond destroying ballistic missiles in 2024. 40 years of refusing to accept second best, refusing to depend on others, refusing to believe that Britain can't lead. The result? A system so capable it tracks hundreds of threats, engages dozens simultaneously, intercepts missiles travelling Mach 15, makes the impossible routine, and completely, entirely, thoroughly British. Designed in Britain, built in Britain, operated by British crews, protected by British sovereignty. This gives Britain options, the ability to defend alone, to lead NATO operations, to provide capabilities that allies need. It gives Britain respect, from America, from Europe, from adversaries, because Sea Viper works, in combat, provably, and it gives Britain pride, the quiet, understated British pride that comes from doing something difficult, building something excellent, showing the world, politely but firmly, that Britain leads. Every British citizen should know this story, should understand what Sea Viper represents, should feel what those engineers, those operators, those crews feel. Not arrogance, not superiority, not boasting. Pride. Proper pride. The pride that comes from excellence, from protecting people, from building systems that work. And those Aster missiles, launching from silver cells, manoeuvring with piff-paff precision, intercepting threats at Mach 4, make one thing absolutely clear. Enemy missiles aren't obsolete because they're old. They're obsolete because Britain built something better. When NATO looks at Britain's Type 45 destroyers now, they don't see declining power. They see technological supremacy. They see the future of air defence. They see a nation that builds excellence. The excellence that Sea Viper represents. The excellence that Britain owns. The excellence that proves, once again, that British engineering changes everything. Forever.